This week on Huntin' Full,
this is just a dream come true. It's an animal I've wanted for a long time.
join 𝗙𝗵𝗵 in the great state of Utah as he fulfills a childhood dream hunting a monster elk. Nestled in the southeast region of the Great Basin, the beauty of Monroe Mountain disguises its violent volcanic past 25 million years after its Yellowstone-like eruption. The game-rich caldera rests even as the elk stir during the high days of the rut. The seismic nature of this part of Utah is not solely left to its geologic past, though. For 𝗙𝗵𝗵, Monroe Mountain changed him forever. Jeff, as a young boy, felt the stirrings of the outdoors through the tales of adventure spun before him by a kind, elderly neighbor and his brother. They told stories of hunting on the mountains, nestled behind their homes. And that land of lore was none other than Monroe Mountain. Those stories inspired Jeff to take up hunting as a young boy. So much so that after getting his medical degree and finishing his residencies, he moved to Alaska. Facing off with charging brown bears, surviving plane crashes, and crossing glacial crevasses, all highlighted a hunting career of chasing everything from Dall sheep to grizzlies. Now a husband and father of 2 daughters, 𝗙𝗵𝗵 has pushed his medical career to new heights. But he still seeks to conquer the mountain that lit the fire for the outdoors deep within him so long ago.
Happy to be here, looking forward to this hunt.
A self-made hunter and member for 6 years, Jeff called Huntin' Full for the vital information he needed to ensure his hunt. A decade's worth of accrued points ended in true storybook fashion. Huntin' Full put Jeff in contact with David 𝗃𝗏𝗀 and Greg Ogden of North Rim Outfitters to have the honor of taking him on his first ever guided hunt. So join us on this explosive adventure as the boyhood dreams become reality in the shadow of this ancient volcano.
Hunting encompasses every part of your life. You plan, you research, you map out every last detail. And when your drive for hunting is everything you do, you then become a huntin' fool.
Well, I live in 𝗙𝗪𝗪, Alaska, which is a small town on the beautiful Kenai Peninsula of Alaska. I've hunted in Alaska since 1980s, hunted fairly extensively. My 2 favorite species by far and away are the Dall sheep and the huge Alaskan brown bear. I made the decision to try to hunt in Utah again. I used the Hunting Fool services to put in for this unit that really emphasizes the older age, mature bulls. I called the Huntin' Fool and they put me in contact with David 𝗃𝗏𝗀. He's the owner of North Rim Outfitters. Gave me a lot of good information and I decided to go ahead and book a hunt. Even though I've hunted all my life, this is my very first guided hunt.
To help navigate the rough terrain, Huntin has paired Jeff with expert guide Greg Ogden.
David 𝗏𝗏 got a hold of me and let me know that he had a hunter that was interested in hunting the Monroe Mountain again, and with my love of hunting the Monroe Mountain, I said, sign me up.
Before any hunt, a good hunter takes his time to sight in his rifle, so Jeff decided to shoot his rifle to make sure it was still on for the hunt.
Well, we've made it up to the hunting unit, and thankfully my rifle and my packs and gear did arrive. As always, idea to check your rifle, make sure it's not been knocked out of on sight. I'm shooting an A-bolt 338 Winchester mag. We've got a little bit of a gusty wind here right now, but we want to make sure that it's on because opening morning is tomorrow morning. We hope to put it to good use tomorrow.
After shooting a few times, Jeff knew his rifle was ready for the task.
They're a 6-shot group, so I think that's good enough, and we're going to go elk hunting now.
With some light left in the day, the guys decided to go do some scouting before the opening day of the next morning.
Gonna walk out on this. It's a long look, but we can see a whole bunch of country, and hopefully we can find a bull to pursue in the morning.
Glassing is a game of patience, and tonight the team's perseverance has paid off.
These flats that are shaded, right? Kind of the smaller ones that are right off the top of the ridge.
The team spots a small 5x6 hanging out on the flats.
Huntin' Fool is brought to you by Matthews Archery. Catch us if you can. 𝗙់•𝗵. If you're not the lead dog, the view never changes. Red Rock Precision, the ultimate long-range shooting solution. And Huntin' Fool, your complete hunting resource. This segment is brought to you by PhoneScope, the future of digiscoping.
With an early morning start, the guys go up to the glassing spot they spent the evening before at.
We spotted what we thought was an approximately 350 point bull, kind of way down all by himself. Didn't appear that he had any cows and was not bugling.
Heard one bull screaming up on the hill, set up, tried to call, and he had some cows up in the trees that he wasn't going to be leaving. We worked him for about 15-20 minutes and decided he wasn't coming down, and it was thick enough we wasn't going to go in there and see him anyway. And then we go up the trail just another half a mile and heard another bull. This bull was acting a bit more responsive and was able to call him down, and he ended up being a 7x6, 310-ish type of bull.
He's a real nice bull. He's a good tine length, like for most of them.
His thirds are kind of short.
Yeah.
Jeff was excited to see a bull get called in.
Can you tell how that bull is? How big that bull is walking down? Is he just a 5?
The guys decided to head back to the truck, but on their way, they heard some bugles and called out a bull.
We heard some bugles, and we Greg did some cow calling, and we were able to see a nice 7x6 bull. Came in right at the edge of the tree line, about 100 yards away from us. He was a great bull, but not quite what we were looking for. We had a good first morning, and I think we're going to head out for the evening of the first day of the hunt. Again, we saw 7x6 this morning. Judged it at about 320, maybe 330. We'd seen a prior bull on the evening scouting before the season opener that was probably around 350. So we're going to keep looking, and hopefully tonight's going to maybe show us a big bull.
After having no luck, the guys decided to head to an area where Greg had spotted some bulls in the week prior to the hunt.
Well, we're going to be looking into a new area this evening, a kind of an old burn area. Greg thinks we have a pretty good chance of maybe finding a good bull in here, so we're going to kind of ease on up there and take a good look, see what we find for the evening.
A burn years ago provides feed for the bulls in the area and new luck for the team.
There's 4 or 5 bulls screaming in there, and there's...
Really? We have time to get in there tonight?
Yeah, if we hurry.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll start packing the stuff up. To get to that new area, we had to hike several miles down through the timber, and we started to break out into kind of an open meadow area, and we looked to our left, and there was a bull about 150 yards away from us.
While the guys were searching the area Greg had prospected, Greg's son glassed a herd of elk not far from their location. Unfortunately, there were no bulls worth going after, and with the light fading, hopes of killing a bull would have to wait until morning.
Did you know that Huntin' Fool keeps a list of all members who have drawn tags over the years? This allows Huntin' Fool members to contact other Huntin' Fool members who have previously drawn their tag and get consultation from someone who's experienced that exact hunt firsthand. Go to www.huntinfool.com to find out more. This segment is brought to you by 𝗙cie Extreme Mountain Hunting Gear.
Jeff McGee has been hunting elk in Utah with outfitter Greg Ogden from North Rim Outfitters. After seeing a few bulls that weren't big enough, the guys were hoping the new day would bring some better luck.
Well, the next morning, Greg chose to take us into a different area. To get to that new area, we had to hike several miles down through the timber, and it turned out to be a very good area. We saw a number of elk and some good quality bulls. And we looked to our left, and there was a bull, about 150 yards away from us.
There's cows back over here. Boy, that's a big bull. And we're on the left-hand side of it.
With the spotting scope checking out that first bull, Greg kind of sized him up, and we really felt that we could probably do better, so we continued to look. We also knew of another bull that had just gone up and over the mountain with some cows that was kind of an unusual bull in that he had a split tine and an extra brow tine. a very large bull. So we were kind of torn on which way to go. So we finally decided to go up the mountain, seeing if we could locate that more atypical bull.
Once they got to the new area, they were pleased to see a large group of elk in the distance.
Way off, we were able to spot in kind of a small opening in the trees a very nice bull. We looked at him long and hard. Greg checked him out in the scope and thought he was a possible contender to go after. We had a great spot to glass from. We did see a large group of elk kind of working down the canyon, coming upwards, but the big atypical didn't show. And the other bulls that were with the cows were, smaller bulls. So we decided that even though it was a great day, we weren't going to go after any of those. Well, later that day, we decided to try to go back in the area where that big atypical had disappeared into. Chasen helped by going to the opposite mountain to try to see if he could locate him. We went further down the ridge, had a great spot. We had several bulls spotted, some very large. We saw one very large typical that we thought was close to 350. We saw another large 5x6 that looked like he may have a kicker or two.
After spending some time glassing these bulls, Jeff still didn't see the monster elk he was looking for.
This segment is brought to you by Auto Farm. Fun, simple, and transparent. Your personal guide to your next ride.
Jeff McGee sits glassing on a hill in central Utah on the last day of his elk hunt. Expert guide Greg Ogden and he have spotted many elk with no luck of finding a potential shooter. With one glimmer of hope from Greg's son, the team hopes that this bull will be the one.
We weren't sure we were going to be able to make it in time as light was starting to fade. So we went up the mountain as fast as we possibly could. And it was a mad dash to try to get to the bull before we lost light.
He's supposed to be giant. We was down the ridge probably 2 miles. We started hoofing out there hoping to get to that bull, running on the downhill and churning and burning up the steep uphill, and got there just as the light was fading.
When Jeff and Greg were going to call it a day, they got word of a shooter that was located right near where they had parked their four-wheeler.
It's clear now. 340. No. Right above that green tree that's in the middle. He's right above it.
Is it broadside? Is that him broadside?
Yes.
Okay. 340?
Yeah.
340. Okay, good. Can I hit him?
Yeah, he went down.
Okay.
Congratulations. Man, thank you. Thank you, man.
Great ball. Great ball. What a run we had to do to get to that
we
thing.
humped it.
We was running out of light.
Oh, I know. We were in a full-out race trying to close the gap.
I was a little nervous about how quickly we had to size him up, but we were pleasantly surprised. Great bull, great beams, definitely an upper end bull for the Monroe Mountain.
Day 2 and last light. The team's hard work and patience paid off, and dividends divided the antlers equally amongst hunter and guide.
Well, as you can see, we've got a great bull here. Greg and I were down kind of in the bottom of a real deep area down in the mountain looking at a real good bull, and we heard that there was this very large bull all the way up near the four-wheelers. So we had to really make time to get up here before dark to get him. I couldn't be more thrilled. This is a fantastic animal. Greg's been a fabulous guide. I can't thank him enough. I want to thank North Rim Outfitters. Appreciate all the help from the Huntin Fool. They've guided me over the years in putting in for permits, and this is just a dream come true. It's an animal I've wanted for a long time.
It's a true achievement for anyone to complete a lifelong goal that they've had since their youth. Through Huntin Fool's research and know-how, Jeff McGee was able to follow his own dream and successfully harvest an amazing bull. Even for an accomplished adventurer, harvesting an elk in the towering shadows of Monroe Mountain would be an incredible experience. But for Jeff, it's quite literally a childhood dream come true.
Closed captioning is brought to you by 𝗀𝘃's family of patterns. Family, friends, and the outdoors.